Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to focus exclusively on long tones. I talked about long tones a little bit in other videos. This video is purely dedicated to long tones, the benefits and also the pitfalls of doing long tones wrong. More specifically, not taking advantage of all the benefits of doing long tones. If you don't, you're gonna get bored and you're gonna stop doing it. Okay, let's get started. One of the biggest advantages of doing long tones regularly is helping to develop your tone. I'm currently working on a video about developing your tone on saxophone. That's coming pretty soon, so stay tuned for that one. However, focusing on long tones has many other great benefits. One of the only times I ever play my saxophone disassembled is when I'm doing long tones, and I only do it that way just to keep my face in shape. When I was working on cruise ships, we were playing anywhere from 6 to 7 hours a day, almost every day without a day off. So when you stop doing that on your vacation, I was living in my apartment and my landlord lived in the apartment next to mine. So I would just take the mouthpiece in the neck, put that on, muffle it with my hand, and just do that for about 10 to 15 minutes, 2 or 3 times a day while TV is on or just got some headphones on or something like that. All right, so let's get to this video and some long tones. I live on a busy street. That's a truck route. I'm also next to a highway where the trucks are, and also there's a train track that goes through, so I can't edit out all the background noise, so sorry about that. But at any rate, let's get going. One of the first things that you want to do is get yourself a tuner. This is Tonal Energy Tuner. Make sure you get a tuner that has the most amount of features. This has a metronome. This thing has different standards of tuning on it. This thing is pretty amazing. Even as I'm talking, you can see the different harmonics that are popping up even when I'm speaking. So this is a fantastic tool to use. And half of what I do with my long tones, I do with a tuner. And the other half I do with actual pieces of music, making sure that I am listening deeper, not just catching the surface stuff. All right, so let me grab my horn. I'm going to start with soprano on this. One of the first things I like to practice when I'm exclusively doing long tones are octaves, especially on soprano saxophones. It's really difficult to get octaves in tune from the factory, let alone from the player. So this is obviously the kind of thing we want to make sure that we are staying on top of. And I will definitely use a tuner for this. And then once I get comfortable thinking that I am where my pitch is supposed to be, I'm going to turn the tuner off. And then I'm just going to play a song that has some kind of octave to it. And then do that in all the places where I feel like my octave intervals may be out of tune. And then I'll even get some of the chords from that song and then play it with it, and then be listening for my intonation in reference to the song that I'm playing. So I'll start out on a concert F. This is a G on this thing. Usually the low G is a little bit on the sharp side and the top one is a little bit flat, until I get sufficiently warmed up with this instrument and knowing what I'm supposed to be doing with my embouchure. Like, for example, I like to also throw in some vibrato work when I'm practicing my long tones. It's an excellent way to just start listening deeper and deeper into the sound. Okay. I am a huge fan of practicing multiphonics because multiphonics brings up all the overtones that are too quiet for us to hear when we're playing the main note. In other words, whenever you play one note on a saxophone, you're actually playing a whole bunch of other notes, but the main note is just so much louder. Multiphonics allows us to be able to amplify, increase the volume of those higher harmonics or those upper overtones. And I like to play long tones going back and forth between the fundamental and then all the notes that get produced with the multiphonic, like this. And I will even throw in vibrato where it's musically appropriate. So that way I'm always layering and stacking my long tone exercises. For example, I'll do this. Using vibrato with multiphonics for long tones is weird. I'm just trying to hear every little nuance of the sound, pick something, make that louder, make something else quieter, and go back to the fundamental. So trust me, my long tones never get boring. Okay, let's move on. If you are having difficulty hearing those upper harmonics, those upper overtones, this thing is pretty much telling you exactly what's what. I found that doing long tones with multiphonics, vibrato, hitting as many frequencies as possible is a great way to break in a reed. And that's usually where I do my longest long tones. Usually for me, 5 minutes, especially if I'm playing every day, 2 to 3 hours every day gigging. It only takes me about 5 to 10 minutes to really just make sure all my reeds are going to do what they're supposed to do. As far as me knowing where to place everything for what I need to do, it only gets a little weird when I'm switching reeds or mouthpieces and that kind of stuff. So you guys have been following my channel, you know I have a whole bunch of reeds and a whole bunch of mouthpieces. So it's a regular thing that I do to really zero in and make sure my brain is cued into the mouthpiece that I'm playing and not like one that I used before and what I'm capable of doing with it. Okay, that's all I got for you, ladies and gentlemen. So coming soon, I have this building your saxophone sound, your tone on saxophone, which when it all boils down to it, all the altissimo and articulations and all of that, it's all about your sound. That is the thing that have brought us into music and playing this particular instrument, whether it be alto or soprano or whatever, clarinet, flute. It's all about that sound. And I do a really easy to understand, scientific, comprehensive way of really being able to understand how to make you a better sounding saxophonist. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got. See ya.